got to ask questions to those who claim that this is a milchemes mitzvah. It's a mitzvah to fight this war, and everybody has to fight it. Well, first of all, I would say, is this really a war? Are we really fighting the war? Are we fighting the war to win? We don't have a Sanhedrin to declare a milchemes mitzvah. If you say anytime we're attacked, then anything goes, everybody must fight. Well, are we supposed to take orders from people who are kofrim, who are incredibly incompetent, or perhaps something else that I won't say explicitly? Does that render it a milchemes mitzvah? Are you obligated to fight to the bitter end and take orders from these people? Are you obligated to go into a booby-trapped hellhole because they say so when there are other ways of dealing with it? Is it a milchemes mitzvah when the war is being fought with no intention to actually win and conquer the land? That's the definition of a milchemes mitzvah. You're fighting to completely conquer the enemy, not just part of the enemy, not just Hamas, but then turn over Gaza to other enemies and other entities, but to actually conquer the land. If you're not actually trying to win and conquer the land and completely destroy the enemy, how could it be called a milchemes mitzvah? Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. How could it be a religious duty to follow orders without asking questions, without being allowed to ask questions? That's not the way it worked when we fought wars in the times of the Torah, and it's not the way things work now. So these are just questions. These are questions. When you see those bring them home posters, I want you to realize that you are being brainwashed. You're being propagandized. Every time you hear these calls, raise money, support the IDF, support the troops, together we're going to win, realize this is a mass campaign to brainwash you and propagandize you. If you give money to them, you are funding your own enemies who are turning against you. They're using your money and your kind spirit and your feelings of empathy for the hostages against you as a weapon. You might as well be buying rockets for Hamas. Either way, your money is being used against you. It doesn't matter. Okay? Every time you turn on the media and they're having pictures of the dead soldiers and we just have to keep on fighting, you're being propagandized. Everything you see in the media is propaganda. That's why I don't watch it. I don't read the Jerusalem Post or Arutz Sheva or Times of Israel or Haaretz or Ynet or BBC or any of these things. Fox News, none of them. If somebody sends me an article, says you got to read the article, so I'll take a look at the article. But I don't read it. I don't get my information from there. I'll say, how do you know what's going on? You don't know what's going on either. All you're doing is filling your head with lies and propaganda. And then you got to sift through it and undo the lies. If you're smart enough to be able to do that, to try to pick out the kernel of truth from looking at all the lies, why fill your head with lies in the first place? It's propaganda. They're being used to brainwash you. Either they actually work for the bad guys or they're simply useful idiots. Everything you see about the war, fight the war, win the war, bring the hostages home is a lie. It's BS and it's propaganda. So you will support the troops being sent into a hellhole with no clear purpose and families being decimated, the economy being decimated, the South and the North being decimated, refugees all over the country, destroying the country and concentrating everybody into 15-minute cities. So if that's what you support, by all means, support it, but know that you're supporting that. That's what you're doing. If you want to win the war, then know who the war should be fought against. Don't get your emotions, taken hostage, because we're the real hostages. Our minds are the real hostages. We have to bring our soldiers home. We have to bring our people home. We have to populate our cities and get real Jewish leaders. That's how we win the war, not by bombing useless targets in Gaza and maiming our best and finest fighters. That's not what we should be doing. I'm all for vanquishing the enemy. I'm not a pacifist by any means, but we have to understand the right time and the right way to fight the war, and that's not what's happening now. And it's not about bringing the hostages now home either. They don't care about the hostages. The hostages are simply pawns to prey on us and get us to sacrifice our rights and our homes and our economy and most of all, our friends and loved ones.